Hello, everybody, and welcome to the How to Inspire Reading training. My name is Shay, and I'll be walking you through this material today. This is a training that was sponsored by the Read Muskegon Literacy Collaborative, just to hopefully give you some good thoughts and ideas of how to incorporate reading into your everyday activities, maybe with your own kids, or in your youth program, if you're a facilitator, instructor, volunteer, working with kids in any way, shape, or form. This would be great material just to kind of get your ideas brewing about how we can incorporate reading into those activities without it being a reading specifically focused program. So let's hop in. I'm going to make this little. So first of all, you can view this information in a couple of ways. So you are viewing this narrated presentation down here, where I'll be your host, kind of just guiding you through the material. The next way that you could look at this is exploring the slides on your own in the actual PowerPoint Google document, and we recommend that so that you can actually click and access the resource links. And then the third way is if you click here, you can open up a reference PDF. So that's going to have bullet pointed notes and also links just with the main concepts and things that we discussed here today for quick reference if you're just looking to look up something quick, or if you'd like to share it with somebody else. So first of all, what's the Read Muskegon Literacy Collaborative? So the collaborative is a group of community partners working together to combat the effects of illiteracy in Muskegon County. And we're aiming to make a collective impact through family-focused advocacy, leadership, programs, and initiatives. So down here, you can see a couple of our partners below. All of the organizations represented here contributed in some way, shape, or form to this specific training. But these are not the only folks involved with the collaborative. There's a lot more people at the table. So let's look at the objectives for today. We are going to discuss why reading matters and how it impacts all aspects of life. We'll provide a list of places where you can access free books here in Muskegon. We'll discuss how choice impacts literacy. We'll review how to link reading to everyday moments and activities in any youth program. And we'll also provide local and national resources that support literacy. So let's take a minute to review why reading matters. So let's take a look. Did you know 21,000 Muskegon County adults would struggle to read this sentence? Only 44% third graders in Michigan read proficiently. 38% of third graders in Muskegon County read proficiently. And less than 20% of third graders in some school districts in Muskegon County read proficiently. That's too many people, in my opinion, that are struggling with this. A couple other facts for you. 1 in 5 adults in the nation struggle to read. Literacy is the single greatest predictor of an individual's health. Over $230 billion a year in healthcare-related costs are directly linked to adult illiteracy. A mother's reading skill is the greatest determinant of her children's future academic success. And 75% of state prison inmates and 70% of welfare recipients have low literacy. So some of these facts are pretty striking. I think it's important to note that these stats, these statistics in no way reflect certain innate characteristics of communities or individuals. It speaks more to a holistic problem, more of a systematic issue. And that's why we do the work that we do. All right, so we know that reading matters, but what can I do about it? One of the easiest things that you can do is provide access to books. So we know giving books as opposed to lending books significantly improves reading outcomes. That to me says that ownership is very important. So where can I find books? So one idea, in Muskegon, there's more than 20 locations of little free libraries. Maybe you've seen them around. They look like this structure down here, just a small little frame with books placed inside. You can take a book or you can leave a book there. If you're interested in building a little free library in your community, you can follow this link here and get that started, or feel free to visit them. You can visit them, any of these locations here. If you follow this link too, you can see all the different locations in Muskegon County. So they're a great place to visit, especially with kids. Embrace Books is a free bookstore. It has free books for children and adults. They don't require any kind of registration. And there's also no limit to the number of books that you can take. So they're open the second and fourth Saturday of every month from 8 to 4. However, if you can't get that down there, then you can contact them and they'll come to offsite locations by request. So if you're looking to get some books in the hands of your students or youth that you're working with, definitely give Talia a call. The contact information is right here. Read Muskegon is a literacy organization located in Muskegon Heights. We have several free bookshelves full of content for children and adults that you can just come in and take. Right now, our office is open by appointment only. So do make sure you give us a call ahead if you're going to swing by and grab books. We want to make sure that we're here to welcome you and to show you to the bookshelf. So we do know that owning books shows significant literacy outcomes, but we don't want to take away from the importance of public libraries and just having access to books, even if you got to return them. So we did want to point out all of the public libraries in Muskegon County. So they're all listed here, depending on your area. You can follow those links to learn a little bit more about the libraries and maybe consider bringing your kiddos to visit the library. Another way to get books is the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. So this is a program for children under the age of 5. They get free books delivered right to their home every month that the kid is under the age of 5. So that's a lot of months. That's a lot of free books. Families can register by following this link or by calling the United Way of the Lakeshore directly there, and they can also help you with that. This is good information to share with families. Another good resource for families are 2 raffles and drawings sponsored by Read Early, Read Often. So if you post a picture of yourself reading with a baby or toddler, you can enter for a chance to win a bundle of books, or you can enter this monthly drawing for a $25 Meyer gift card and book giveaways. So again, you can follow these links here to register. And this is also, again, just really good information to share with families who are looking for reading resources. Now, free books are ideal, right? But sometimes we've got a budget and sometimes we can afford to buy new books, in which case we wanted to provide you a list of all of these book retailers that we think have really affordable prices. So you can follow these links to each of those retailers below and place your order. And you can get a lot of bang for your buck if you go through these guys. So now we're going to talk a little bit about providing choice when it comes to literacy. So the research shows that student choice improves reading achievement. So much so that reading gains are almost double for kids who have the opportunity to choose their books as compared to those who are given books that are chosen for them. And we see this because we see an improvement in their attitude about reading. They're more motivated to read. They're more engaged, which means they're reading more often and reading much more. They have improved language abilities and literacy skills, and we see improved reading and writing performance. Again, when kids can choose what they're reading. So you might be wondering, okay, so how can I add more choice into my program? A couple ideas. One way would be to provide access to a wide selection of books. And another thing to keep in mind is avoid telling kids that they can't read a book. So most kids are capable of reading anything with support. Certainly they're capable of flipping through the book, getting exposure to the book, asking questions about the book, looking at the pictures of the book. Really avoid pulling any books away from kids or telling them they can't read it. Keep it as positive as possible, even if you think that that book is above their reading level. There's no harm in them exploring. Another thing is consider adding audiobook options or other online learning tools and games, having that available during your program. And then also allowing students to choose how they read in addition to what they read. So allowing students the option to read in pairs or small groups if they want. And also just, asking the students to contribute to activity ideas. What do they want to do when it comes to reading? You might get some good ideas if you ask the question. All right, so now we're going to talk about linking reading. So how can I link reading to my current program activities? The first thing that comes to mind when we think of incorporating reading into a class or a program is silent reading. And we really want to challenge you into rethinking how we do reading, reimagine reading as a more active, even louder experience. And one way we can do that is by building a literacy-rich environment. And so if you're interested to learn more about a literacy-rich environment, you can click on that link. Kind of describes a little bit more in detail. But we are going to go through some examples of what you could do. So one idea is posting signs, labels, and directions in your program space. So you can see over here, we have an example of just, materials that are labeled. That's a great idea. And also creating opportunity to explore magazines, phone books, recipes, menus, maps. All of that counts. It doesn't just have to be books. Any way that you can incorporate more words in your program space is a plus. Another idea is you could write out program activities or the plan for the day and review it with the group before the activities begin, or ask one of the students in your group to help you do it. It's a really good way of demonstrating how language can help organize thoughts. Or if you're out and about or even around your own building, you can point out signs, words, or images in the environment appropriate to age level. So for example, you could say, hey, look at that sign. What's that street called? Or, oh, take a look over there. I think something's happening at the museum. Who can read that for us? Any way that you can just draw attention to signage is great. So what activities would be great for pre-K or elementary aged children? Just a couple ideas here. So one thing is a story trail, which is where you paste copies of each page of a story on yard signs and kind of arrange them in a trail outside so kids can enjoy at their own pace. Story time is another idea, reading a story and singing a song before or after other activities begin. A picture book is a great idea, allowing kids to create their own stories with pictures and words, piques their curiosity about what a book can be. And also creating opportunities for kids to act out what they've read, or even playing charades or some kind of imitation game about a story or story characters is great. So if you're interested in any of these activities, you can click these links for more instruction or ideas on how to implement them. What activities would be great for middle or high school kids? Well, let's see. One idea would be a poetry or writing contest. So maybe you engage somebody from the community to be a judge. Maybe you have some really cool prizes as incentives to get kids involved. Another idea could be a book share, and it can be very brief, just a moment to share with the group what they're reading. It could be something they're reading at home for fun or something for school. Book club, you could facilitate with your group all reading the same book, or you could click that link below to learn more about teen book clubs that already exist in Muskegon if you're interested in connecting your youth to those book clubs. Planning projects is a great idea to exercise literacy skills, especially, you know, working with checklists and plans and calendars and schedules and all of that that's involved in project planning is really, really great. Just make sure they help choose the project so they're really motivated to see it come to fruition. Reading buddies are great. So you can pair older students with younger students to have some paired reading time. Or if that's not possible, maybe you don't have younger students available on site at your location. You could always have your older students help prepare activities for a younger group. So for example, you could have your older kids prepare a story trail that maybe you then give to the elementary group or somewhere, regardless of where they are. But just getting the kids involved in creating something that models positive literacy engagement. And another idea would be reading an article before participating in an activity. So for an example, you could print out an article about basketball before playing, or even just pulling up something quick online, some kind of anything informational that requires them to read a little bit about the topic. It can be very, very brief. It doesn't have to be a full lesson on anything. Even just reading headlines or asking for volunteers to read or share keeps kids engaged. All right, so what activities can be adapted to all age levels? Storytelling never gets old. Kids always love telling stories about something that they've experienced in their life, or maybe something that happened to someone else. Free writing and journaling is a great activity. Just a quick note about writing and journaling. We really want to make sure the focus is on complete freedom of expression without the fear of overcorrection. So especially in the out of school program space, we don't want to focus too much on correcting grammar, punctuation, spelling, things like that. We really just want to create an environment where kids are free and encouraged to write whatever it is, right? So reading games online are available for a variety of reading levels. Anytime you can combine art and writing, it doesn't matter how simple, just drawing a picture and putting words under it, or doing something more elaborate with books and painting and things. Great ways to engage in literacy development. Another idea is go somewhere else. So like I said, you could bring your kids off site, you could go to the library, or you could go to the Lakeshore Museum. And don't underestimate the power of reading aloud, no matter the age level. So there's been a lot of good research out there that shows reading aloud or listening to stories read aloud. We see improved relationship building, improved confidence, and improved vocabulary. I think listening to podcasts, radio stories, things of that nature would also count as reading and listening aloud. All right, so no matter what you do, just remember to keep it simple. So we understand that you are not in positions where your English teachers or literacy instructors, any way that you can just incorporate a little bit of reading or writing activity into what you're doing is great. That's all that you need to do to be effective. It can be very simple. and also keeping it positive. So just keeping language as positive as possible about reading, even if maybe you yourself don't enjoy reading, or maybe you've had bad experiences with reading. Certainly you can empathize with your students who are struggling or might be sharing those feelings. Just make sure to always keep it encouraging and keep it positive. And always keep it fun. You'll always have better results when it's fun. Okay, so we covered a lot. What are we going to do now? So let's just review a minute. So we have discussed why reading matters and how it impacts all aspects of life. We've provided a list of places where you can access free books. We've discussed how choice can impact literacy. And we reviewed how to link reading to everyday moments and activities in any youth program. So now let's take a look at local and national resources that support literacy. So two big local players in the literacy scene here in Muskegon. One is Read Muskegon. So Read Muskegon offers countywide services, and they do that through tutoring and classes, which are made available for adults, K-12 students, families, and also individuals learning English as a second language. So if you want to learn more about Read Muskegon and what we do and how we do it, contact us by getting a hold of us like that. Read Early, Read Often is an initiative through Muskegon Area Intermediate School District. They also work countywide, and they really support early literacy. And they do that by providing resources and learning experiences for families and also organizations. So if you're more interested in learning about how to support early literacy, you can contact Read Early, Read Often, and Allison would be happy to share more with you. All right, so where else can we bring kids to support literacy development? So let's just recap a couple ways that, or a couple places that you could bring kids out into the community to engage with literacy. So we always got those libraries. Public museums are great, a lot of printed material in museums. Playgroups are available. If you click these links, you'll see which ones are available and have access to a little bit more detail there, but there's plenty of playgroups, especially for young children, available in Muskegon. And also Embrace Books Again, another really great option to go visit the bookstore and leave with armfuls of books if you want. All right, we do want to show you another great resource. So I am going to actually navigate to this page, which is a resource website that the Read Muskegon Literacy Collaborative is creating. So you can see here, it's all organized by different types of organizations that are operating in Muskegon. So you can click on either of those to kind of like see a list of organizations that are working in those spaces. Important to note about this website, it is a work in progress. So if your organization isn't represented yet on this page, please let us know. Or if there's any information that's incorrect, maybe some contact information, phone numbers need to be updated, please let us know so that we can make this as relevant and valuable as possible. All right, so some other resources and tools. These links will provide more activity ideas, maybe some more details about literacy in general, including research if you're curious. So take time if you're interested to dive deeper by following those links below. We won't explore too much of that, but we did want to make sure you had them. Okay, so that's about it that we have for you today, but we really want to know what ideas you have, or like I said, what's missing. And who do you think should have this information? Please tell us. So if you click on this link, which you'll be able to do if you access the slides, You can complete a brief survey, just letting us know, your reaction to this presentation. And also, again, help us fill in gaps. We know that we haven't, been able to get everything yet. So please keep us informed so that we can keep this as up to date as possible. Well, thank you so much again for taking the time today to learn a little bit more about literacy. Again, my name is Shay. I'm the program coordinator for Read Muskegon. You can also contact me directly. You got my number and email below. Please reach out if you have any questions or, like I said, ideas, or if you're just excited to partner. We would love to learn more about what you do and how you're doing it and how we can support you. Okay, have a wonderful day.